13th May 2022. Morning Murli, Om Shanti, BapDada, Madhuban. Sweet children, the Father has created the sacrificial fire of knowledge of Rudra, and you Brahmins are the ones who look after it. Therefore, you definitely have to remain pure. Question: which children will the Father help at the end? Answer: at the end, when many calamities come, the children who do service very well will receive help from the Father. The Father will definitely help those who have become His helpers. Question: whose face is the wonderful face? In what form does its memorial exist? Answer: when shivbaba, the one who doesn't have a face of his own, takes the support of this face, it becomes a wonderful face. This is why you children personally come to see this face. The memorial of this is in the faces of the rosary of Rudra, means beads with a face on them. Song: how sweet and lovely, innocent Lord Shiv is. Om Shanti. The unlimited Father says, only once every 5,000 years do I see the faces of the children. The Father doesn't have a face of his own. Shivbaba takes an old body on loan. Therefore, you see the face of both Bap and Dada. This is why it is said, accept love and remembrance from Bap and Dada. Your children have seen the rosary of Rudra on which faces are shown. The rosary of Rudra is created, and so you also see the face of Shivbaba. No one knows that Shivbaba comes and takes a body on loan. Shivbaba speaks through this Brahma's mouth. Therefore, this is his face. The Father only comes once at this time and sees the faces of the children. Your children know that shivbaba has taken this face on loan. So much benefit is received by lending his face to such a father. It is his ears that hear everything first. Although you do hear it immediately, it is still his ears that are the closest of all. You souls are sitting at a distance. Souls listen through their ears, and so there is some difference. Your children come here to see his face personally. This is the wonderful face. People celebrate the night of Shiv, and so surely it is Shivbaba who is incorporeal and who enters this one here. Therefore, his land is in the land of Bharat. Bharat is the imperishable birthplace of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. However, his birth is not like that of human beings. He himself says, I come and enter this one and then speak knowledge to you children. All other souls have their own bodies. I do not have a body of my own. They also show Shiv in form of an oval image. When they create sacrificial fires, they make oval images of clay. They make saligrams smaller than the Shiv lingam. In fact, they are neither smaller nor larger. It is just to distinguish between the father and the children that they have different sizes. They even worship both in different ways. They understand that one is Shiv and that the rest are saligrams. At least they don't say that all are Shiv. No, they make the image of Shiv Lingam larger than the small saligrams. All of the children are with him. Baba has explained why they worship all of those saligrams. It is because all of you are souls. You are making Bharat elevated with your bodies. You saligrams are receiving Shivbaba Srimad, the sacrificial fire of knowledge of Rudra. Shivbaba has been created. Shivbaba speaks, and the saligrams also speak. This is the story of immortality, the story of the true Narayan. He changes human beings from ordinary humans into Narayan. The worship of him is the most elevated. Souls are not very big, they are absolutely tiny points. The soul had so much knowledge. He had such a big part recorded in him. Such a tiny soul says, I enter this body and play a part. The body is so large, when a soul enters a body, he begins to play his part from childhood. Souls have received eternal, imperishable parts. A body is non living. When a living soul enters it, he then begins to experience punishment in the womb. How does a soul experience punishment? A soul adopts different bodies and continues to have visions of how he caused sorrow for others through that body and continues to receive punishment. The soul cries out in distress, and this is why it is said to be the jail of a womb. Look how well the drama has been created. The soul played such a part. The soul makes a promise, I will never commit sin. Such a tiny soul has received an imperishable part. The soul plays his part of 84 births and then repeats it. It is a wonder. The father sits here and explains this. Your children understand that this is something accurate. Such a tiny point had such a big part. Many have visions of a soul. They think that a soul is a star that resides in the center of the forehead. He played such a big part. This is called nature. You souls know that you shed bodies and take others. You play such a big part. Baba comes and explains to us. This is such an elevated knowledge. No one in the world has this knowledge. This one too is a human being. The Father has now entered this one. It isn't that he would be a disciple of some guru, etc., from whom he learned occult power. Some people think that he has received a blessing from a guru or that he has received some special power from his guru. This is something different altogether. You enjoy yourselves a lot by listening to him directly. You know that Baba is explaining to you personally. Baba is so tiny, just as your souls are also tiny. He is called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He is the Supreme, the one who resides in the Supreme Land, the land beyond. Your children also reside in the land beyond. The Father tells you such subtle things. He didn't explain this in the beginning. Day by day, your children continue to receive such a deep knowledge. Who is giving this? God, the highest on high. He comes and says, Children, how do souls speak through their organs? They speak of a soul sparkling in the center of the forehead. They simply say that for the sake of it. This doesn't enter anyone's intellect. No one has this knowledge to be able to explain it to others. Very few among you understand these things. Those who do understand it then imbibe it very well, and they then inspire others to imbibe it. That is, they speak about it. You say that he is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and so you should definitely receive the inheritance from the Father. You should be the masters of heaven. They would definitely have received the inheritance of heaven from the Father. When did he give that inheritance? Did he give it in the golden age? There are definitely actions of the past. You now understand the theory of actions. Baba is teaching you such actions through which you become like that. You have become the mouth-born creation of Brahma, and this is why shivbaba is speaking knowledge to you through the mouth of Brahma. There is the difference of day and night. They are in such extreme darkness. No one at all knows the Father from whom they can receive light. They say that we actors have come here to play parts on this field of action. However, they don't know who they are or who their Baba is. They don't even know how the world cycle turns. It has been remembered that God comes and teaches all of those with stone intellects, the hunchbacks, and those without virtues. Many important people come to the exhibitions, but this is not in their fortune. The Father is the Lord of the poor. Hardly one wealthy person out of 100 would emerge. Even then, hardly anyone makes effort to claim a high status. You are poor. Mothers don't have much money. Where would daughters get money from? Mothers are at least half partners. A daughter doesn't receive anything. When she goes to her in laws, she becomes a half partner. She cannot claim an inheritance. Sons are full masters. The father first makes such a Kumaris belong to him. They have the celibate life of a student. They are poor and they are pure, and so they are worshipped. All of that refers to this time. Your act, which continues at this time, is then worship. There cannot be the birthday of Krishna without first the birthday of Shiv. You know that there is first the birthday of Shiv, then of Krishna, and then of Ram. Through the birth of Shiv, there is also the birth of the world mother and the world father. Therefore, you definitely receive the inheritance of the world. You become the masters of the whole world. The world mother is the master of the world. There are many fair in the name of the world mother. Brahma is not worshipped as much. The father places the mothers at the front. Everyone, especially their husbands, has kicked the mothers, the Shiv Shaktis. That one is the husband of all husbands. He explains to the Kumaris, the daughters of the world mother are master world mothers. These daughters are also carrying out the same task as the mother, means mama. Like mama, you two are seers of the three aspects of time. There are both males and females. This is the family part. The majority is of mothers. Their name is glorified. The name of Brahma is not glorified as much. Certain Brahmins, a particular type of Brahmin, especially worship Brahma. There are two types of Brahmin, the Sarsip and the Pushkarni. Those who relate the scriptures are different. The father sits here and explains how this cycle turns and how he comes. He had promised that he would come once again after 5,000 years and give you knowledge. This is also mentioned in the song. Whatever happened in the past is then remembered on the path of devotion. This drama is eternal. It is never short. It has no beginning, middle, and end. It is continuous. The father comes and explains how this drama continues. You have to experience 84 births. You come into the Brahmin clan, then the deity clan, then the warrior clan, etc. They have made both shivbaba and the Brahmins disappear. You became Brahmins through Brahma. Brahmin priests look after a sacrificial fire. Impure ones cannot look after a sacrificial fire. When they create sacrificial fires, they do not indulge in vice. They don't indulge in vice when they are on a pilgrimage. You are on a spiritual pilgrimage. Therefore, you cannot indulge in vice. Otherwise, there will be obstacles. Your pilgrimage is a spiritual one. Baba says, I have come to take your children back. I will take you back like a swarm of mosquitoes. We souls reside there. That is the supreme abode where we souls reside. We then come here and become deities, warriors, merchants, and Shudras. We have now become Brahmins. Those who become Brahmins will go to heaven. They swing and swings there too. There you will swing and the swing studded with diamonds and jewels. They decorate the cradle of Sri Krishna so beautifully. Everyone loves him. They sing, chant the names of Radhe, Govind, and let us go to Vrindavan. You are now becoming ready to go there in a practical way. You know that All the desires of your minds are now being fulfilled. You are now going to God's land. You know how Baba is going to take everyone there. It is like removing a hair from butter. The Father doesn't give you any difficulty at all. He gives you the sovereignty so easily. The Father says, remember your land of Krishna where you have to go. First of all, Shivbaba will definitely take you home. From there, he will send you to heaven. Just as you go via Delhi, so you are now going to the land of Sri Krishna via the land of silence. You now understand that you are going back. You will then go to the land of Krishna. We are following Baba Srimad. Therefore, remember the Father and become pure. When they go on a pilgrimage, they definitely remain pure. They also observe celibacy while studying. Purity is definitely needed. The Father inspires you children to make effort. The effort you make at this time then becomes the effort of every cycle. You do have to make effort. The school is very great. Therefore, you definitely have to study. God Himself is teaching you. Don't miss a single day. This is the most valuable study. This Baba never miss a day. Here your children can fill your aprons personally from the treasure store. The more you study, the more intoxication you will experience. You can stay here if you don't have any bondage. However, Maya is such that she ties you in bondage. Many also take holidays. Baba says become fully refreshed. That intoxication doesn't remain when you go outside. There are many who became intoxicated simply by reading a Murli. Many calamities are to come. Those who became helpers and serve very well receive help. At the end too, they will then receive help. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says, Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, this study is most valuable. God Himself is teaching you. Therefore, don't miss a single day. Fill your aprons with the treasures of knowledge every day. Second point, this is the time to study, and you are also on a pilgrimage. You have to look after the sacred fire of Rudra, and so you must definitely remain pure. In order to do this, don't be influenced by any vice and thereby create an obstacle. Blessing. May you increase the fortune of happiness that you have received from the Father, the bestower of fortune, by sharing it with others. Explanation. Your greatest fortune is that the Father, the bestower of fortune, has made you belong to Him. People of the world are desperate to have even a second's glance from God, whereas you are constantly merged in His eyes. This is called being fortunate. Fortune is your inheritance. Out of the whole cycle, it is only now that you receive such a fortune. So continue to increase your fortune. The way to increase it is to share it. The more you share it with others, that is, make them fortunate, the more your fortune will increase. Slogan. In order to experience being free from obstacles and having a constant and stable state, practice concentrating more. Om Shanti